In this video, we will learn how to draw stock charts. Stock charts are mostly useful for displaying stock market information. They do not have many use cases, although it is not limited to only stock market information that you can depict with these charts. You can depict other types of information also. So let us first learn about these stock charts. So if you have traded in stock market, you would know that there are 5 major parameters that define the performance of a stock within a day. For example, in this data set, you can see for the first day, I have the volume of the stock traded for that day. That is the number of shares of that particular company traded between two parties. The second column is showing the opening price of that particular stock. That is, when the market started in the morning, what was the opening price of that stock? Third column is highest value of that stock reached within that particular day. Fourth column is the lowest value of that particular stock. And the fifth column is the closing value of that stock. That is, when the market closed in the evening, what was the price of that particular stock. And I have this for 5 days for an example. So you can depict these values using the 4 types of stock charts that we have. If you go to the insert menu and you look into the stock chart options, there are 4 charts. The first one is the high low close chart. This is what we have drawn here. As you can see in this chart, there are 3 things for each data point: the high, low and close value. So if you look at the first point of the x-axis, we have the lowest point given by the bottom end of the line, which is nearly 69.688. We have the highest point given by the other end of the line, which is nearly 72.63. And we have the closing value depicted by this marker. This chart is giving us only 3 values: high value, low value and close value. That is why it is known as high, low, close stock chart. Let us learn how to draw this one. I will delete this chart. We will select these 3 columns only in the order high, low, close. If it is not in this order, you'll have to separately go and select the data in the order that you have the columns. So I'll go to the stock chart option and I'll select the first one. The first difference that you will notice in this chart with the previous chart is that the marker point is a very small marker point in this case, whereas previously we had a big marker point. So you know how to change it. You right click on it, select the format data series option. In this fill and line option, you can select the marker one, and within these marker options you can increase the size, you can change the type of marker. You can use a square, circle or a triangular marker. That's a cross one. You can change the color of the marker also. Also on the horizontal axis, that is the x-axis, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 written. Instead, if you want the date to be written there, you will just edit it and select the series which you want to show. So now we have the dates, and for each date we have the lowest, highest and the closing value of the stock. The next type is the open, high, low, close. It has additional information, that is what was the price of stock when the stock market opened. So again, it is similar to the previous one, just you will have to select the opening price column also while drawing, and it has to be in this order: open, high, low, close, so that by default what Excel will draw will be correct. If it is not in this order, you'll have to go to the select data option and correct it. So in this chart, line is similar to the previous line. The ends of the lines are depicting the lowest and the highest value that the stock underwent that particular day. This box is for the opening and closing price. One of the line of the box is giving you the opening price and the other one is giving you the closing price. To differentiate whether the opening price is lower than the closing price or the opening price is higher than the closing price, we have the color of the box. So you can see for these 4 days, the opening price was lower than the closing price. So there is white color. And for this box, the opening price is higher than the closing price. That is why it is in black color. That is, over this day, the stock started at a lower price and ended at higher price. For all these 4 days, this is what has happened. But for this 5th day, the stock started at a higher price, but it ended at a lower price. So let's draw this one also very quickly. We'll delete it. We'll select these 4 columns, go to insert, stock charts, the second one, and here we have it. You can format the x-axis, format these lines and these boxes, their colors as you wish. The third option is the volume high-low close chart. So the first one was high-low close. In this chart, there is an additional information of how much volume of that particular stock was traded on that particular day. So that additional information is depicted using these columns, and also since it has 2 types of information, one is the quantity of stock traded and the price of stock during the day, it will have 2 scales, one for the volume and one for the price. So in our example, volume is on the primary axis and these bars will have the values corresponding to this primary axis, whereas the value of the price of the stock is on the secondary axis, and these lines and these markers will take their value from the secondary axis. So let's learn how to draw this chart. So we will select volume, high, low and close column. We'll go to stock charts, select this third one. You can see that since the scales are set in this way, that our 2 graphs, that is the column chart and the stock chart, is overlapping. We'll need to change the scale of either of the 2 charts. So let us change the scale of primary axis. So it is ending at 18,000. We'll end it at 32,000 so that the bars are smaller. Now you can clearly see the amount of stock traded and the price fluctuation during the day. If you want to further remove this overlap, you can change the scale as you wish. So I'm changing the secondary scale here. So now you can see that the 2 charts are separated and you can clearly see both of these charts. I'll change the marker option also. I'll have a bigger circular marker. So now we can see the volume of stock traded, the high, low and closing price of this stock. The fourth option is just including the opening price also. So again, the bars are representing the volume of stock traded. This line in this chart is giving you the high and low value, and these boxes is giving you the opening and closing price. So you can draw this also in the same fashion. You will select the whole table, go to stock charts and select the fourth option. You can see this is not in the format that we want it to be. The issue is that we have 5 rows, which confuses the Excel that the volume open, high, low and close values are given horizontally or vertically. So Excel by default thought that instead of volume going vertically down, it is going horizontally across. So if you want to tell Excel that that is not the case, the data is vertically down, you just need to click this button, which is switch row to column. So you can see here is your chart. You can format it in the same way we discussed for the other three charts. As I told you that stock charts are not limited to only financial information. You can depict any information similar to stock prices. For example, if you want to depict the changes in temperature within a day, you can use the high-low close chart. Instead of the closing value, you can use average of high and low. So this chart is showing you the highest temperature achieved in that day, lowest temperature and the average temperature during the day. So it can be used for non-financial data also, but the data should be similar to the stock price data.